You're listening to the Friends After 40 podcast, where every episode feels like a conversation on your couch with close friends. So grab your coffee or your cocktail and come hang out with us. So we're sitting down.
Fancy.
It's early evening.
It smells amazing.
And we're about to record an episode about qualities that you look for in a great friend. And I'm going to kick this off right out of the gate because if you're watching, you see what's going on. If you're listening, let me explain. So right here in the middle of the studio, Richie over here, aka Ramahn, aka Richie, just smoked my Oaxaca old fashioned. A Oaxaca old fashioned is
AKA
rather
tequila.
AKA, tequila instead of bourbon, right? So you talk about qualities that you look for in a good friend. Ramahn really knows how to make a very fine drink. So I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Is that on your
You're
list?
welcome. You're
On your
welcome.
list?
It is now.
On my list of qualities?
Qualities? Yeah.
Yes. On my friendship job description? Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Job descriptions go up online very few and far between, by the way, for friends. Just saying. So I'm going to reach over and grab mine.
I'm dying to know how it tastes.
Yes. It
Well,
looks
first
amazing.
thing you
It
do. 'cause
smells
you see
amazing.
It's still smoking. So smell half a nostril.
That's how
right.
you do it?
No, well, for wine, I don't know what you do for Oaxaca, but
Baby, what kind of wood chip? It was like apple.
Hickory.
very nice. So explain what you did here for this concoction.
Okay, so this is a play on an old fashioned. It's a Oaxaca old fashioned made with reposado tequila, and we smoked it. So I used a smoking machine to infuse some smoke into James's old fashioned, made with just a small little glaze of
Simple syrup
not simple syrup. It goes
in a margarita.
agave
I was gonna say agave.
and
yeah.
orange bitters.
So agave, orange bitters, Casamigos Reposado, smoked in the kit, in the
With hickory.
smoking kit with hickory wood chips.
And
Yes.
a nice clear cube.
And a nice clear, yes, a
yeah,
clear
clear.
cube, a cylinder. So it's a cylinder and it's clear. You bought me a kit
That's
Yes.
fancy.
and I still have yet to really get it to work because you have to be timed with it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you know this?
I didn't
Yes.
know.
Like,
I learned it when I
Like
bought
you have to be
his-
on it.
Yeah.
You
do.
can't go past a certain
Whatever,
amount of hours
yeah.
in the freezer with it because then it starts to coat.
Yes.
So you need to time
Yes.
it and then
Yep.
pull them out, put them in the bag that it comes with, and then start all over again.
Yeah.
To have more. But yeah, I mean, it works.
Yeah, and the ladies have
Vespers.
Vespers again.
yes, our drink of choice. We love
She's
Vespers
grown.
when we're winding down. So, and that's what we're drinking tonight.
Thank you for these.
Yes,
you made
thank
these
you.
also.
Very nice.
I made those.
Great
also.
job. Cheers.
Yeah,
Clink,
cheers.
clink, clink, clink.
Cheers.
All right.
Clink,
So, all right, let's talk about that then on the Friends After 40 podcast here. So tonight's episode, we're going to talk about qualities that you look for in a friend. So, Lisa,
Oh, it's gonna start off with me.
we're going to start with you. So, what's a must-have trait that your ideal friend would possess and why?
Honesty.
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 Okay.
huge.
Yeah.
I don't
It
know
is.
if
It's a
that
big one for
requires
me.
explanation,
Huge.
but yeah.
It's a big one for me because being in our 40s, I ain't got time for the bullshit. I'm gonna be straight up. It's like if you can't be honest with me, then I can't be your friend.
Yeah.
And I know some things you don't have to tell me everything, but like you don't have to lie about little things either. And that's like a red flag. Like if you're gonna lie about what was in your freaking drink, like to me, that's
Right.
just like there's no need to lie.
Right.
Like honesty is like my number one. Like I just have a big, that's like my pet peeve. Just knowing that you're lying, and I'm like, you're fucking lying.
Huge turn off.
Oh, especially
For
when
me
you
too.
know they're lying.
When you
and
know
just,
they're lying,
It's
I'm
like I
just
know
like,
the truth. It's like when you do to
exactly.
your kids, you ask them questions you already know the answer to. But it's a huge pet peeve of mine for folks to be dishonest. And I do understand that you have the little white lies, and sometimes it's to protect someone's feelings or just because that's what you would do as a friend. But yeah, the nonsensical lies, the lies for no reason.
So the lies for no reason are the ones that like really turn me off.
Yeah, so big no.
Yeah.
Wah, wah.
What
But why
about
do you think people just as close as you might think you are, why do you think people do it?
Being judged.
For fear of being judged?
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
I learned early on it's just better to tell the truth and, I mean, just deal with it. Because now you're going to have to keep going with that lie.
Yep.
And then you got to remember what you said. And now I'm going to remember what you said. And now you're lying on top of that lie. And now I'm like, this bitch is
Because now
lying.
things aren't adding up. Right?
Yes.
It's just not adding up. You're like, but you just said, and now you're saying, and they don't go together, right? It's like,
so
what
now
are we
that's
doing?
going to put a lot of doubt in my head. And now I'm going to start thinking like, so what else? If
Yeah.
this is so little, what else have you lied about to me?
Right.
Yeah.
Because now I'm questioning everything. Now I'm going to question every single thing. And that is, you don't want me questioning everything because my mind goes, woof. I go all over the place. But yeah, that's my number one. Just honesty. Just be honest. We're old enough that, you know what, we should be able to have a conversation. And I should be able to tell you, you know what you said bothered me. Or you know what, I didn't like that. Or even like, why you lying, bitch? That's what
Right, yeah. But to your point, being genuine is a huge part of friendship, or at least close friendship.
Yeah.
I mean, well, forget that, because you're either a friend or you're not.
Or you're not.
Right? You're
Right.
either a friend or you're an associate or you're a friend of a friend. So, and if you can't be genuine, then you really question if this friendship is going to go anywhere,
Right.
or if this has gotten off the ground as a friendship. So yes, Lisa, I
And
agree.
is it
Honesty.
even worth investing?
Yep.
Because, I mean, to be honest, right? We all have a lot of stuff going on. I don't want to have to invest my time in somebody that I can't trust or even have an honest conversation with, because now you're just taking away from something else that I want to enjoy. So it's just like, can't
good
do
point.
it.
Yeah.
Good point. Time is finite, and there's just a finite time in the day, so can't waste it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Jay?
So at this point in life, it is someone's ability to hold space for me.
Define that for our listeners.
So what I mean by that is if I'm coming to you with something good or bad, just anything, that you can let me have 5 minutes, 10 minutes, at a certain amount of time to let me express myself. Let me share whatever it is I want to share without changing the topic, without making it about you, but to just give me the
Your
space to express myself. So one of the things about me, and I think why it's become more important for me, is because I'm often the one listening. And it comes easy to me. Like I'm a listener. If you come to me as a friend, whatever, I'm going to sit, I'm going to listen to you. And the thing that I've learned on some of my friendships, especially as I've gotten older and I reflect, is I don't always get that in return. So when I do have these moments, again, it could be anything, could be good or bad, but it's like I can get it out, I can say it, but then it's very quickly the topic of conversation moves on to something else. And so what's the message then that I should receive from something like that? If you regularly cannot hold space for people that I think you're supposed to be close to or care about, or, I mean, it says something, it says a lot. It's kind of like, are you really listening then? And to Lee's point about honesty, now you're evaluating everything.
What are some examples that you spot that tell you that people aren't holding space?
They change the subject.
They change the subject. Sometimes you can see it in their face
They zone out.
before they've even said anything. Like you can see that they're not really with you. People pulling out phones, not trying to excuse that, just kind of like, oh, and then, or trying to justify it when maybe they shouldn't. And I think, is there a pattern of that? I mean, we all have our moments where someone might be sharing something and you get distracted for whatever reason. You're allowed every so often. Why are you laughing?
Huh? What?
Huh?
Just
What?
a pass.
You know what I mean? But if someone's like, you kind of notice after a while, like, you know what, when I'm talking to this person, they're not really, or like, I told you XYZ on Monday and Friday, it's like, I never told you. And when you're kind of like, yeah, but remember I told you, I told you this thing on Monday. So you kind of now you're paying attention because you're starting to like, this person's not listening. Like they're really not taking in a lot of what I'm telling them. And so that is, at this point in life, especially with friends that I've had for a while, that's become really important to me. Because if we have not established that at this point, I don't really have many new friends. I don't that are close to me. Like I have some newer friends, but they're not as close to me. But if you're in that like inner circle and that is kind of bubbling up a little bit, I mean, that's concerning for me because it's like, well, then it's never going to happen.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And so I think it's important to be able to do that and be, because I also wonder too, if you're struggling to do that with me, where else does that show up? Were you doing that with other friends? But yeah, it's like, it sucks. I don't like that one.
One of the key traits that I find in a friend as well is the same as yours, is when someone like cuts you off and just stops you from finishing a thought or finishing what you were trying to say, because it means that they weren't listening to you anyway. So I agree with yours wholeheartedly.
I know that's a pet peeve of yours.
It's a huge pet peeve of mine.
But people cutting you off and not letting you finish your sentence?
Yeah. Yes, bitch. But, I think for something that I've always looked for in a friend was reliability.
Like in a Mexican friend?
In a Mexican friend. No, but all friends, Mexican friends included. But
you have to go back to another episode just for our
just
listeners.
for that one, yeah.
Just for that, to give you a little bit of context.
my white friends, my black friends, my Hispanic friends, I'd like them to pretty much be reliable, I think. And it's not that I need help or I need someone to call on often. It's probably not the case. But I can say that because the friends that I've had for a long time, that they've become my friends because I could always rely on them. Mm-hmm. And it was one of the ways that I judged if they would become one of my closest friends, part of my family. And even now when we meet new people and we kind of enter people into like the sub level of the circle, because, and we talked about this the other day,
My target.
there's degrees of
bullseye
friendship,
rings?
and
Yeah.
you can look at it like a bullseye, and you have your people who are dead center. Those are the people that
The inner
you
circle,
are
yeah.
probably the closest with, and then people spread out all over the bullseye from there. And depending on the type of friend that they are, especially if they meet all of the traits that you're looking for in a friend, they start to move closer to the bullseye. So as we meet people, it is like, are they reliable? Are they honest? Do they hold space and give me a voice when I'm trying to express my feelings or my thoughts or what my week was like? I spent time listening to your week, and then you didn't reciprocate. So those are definitely the things, the ones that you two named, and especially the reliability aspect, are things that definitely go on the resume of friendship. Definitely are traits that I find extremely important.
What about you, James? What's your number one?
Someone who can make a great cocktail.
Someone that not appreciates, that's the wrong word. I would say someone that has a level of understanding about me, that knows that like when to kind of leave me alone, when is okay to engage, and knows that there isn't a perfection of these traits. So like for your example, the reciprocity in asking questions, and my wife knows this, I'm notorious for not asking the question back. For some reason, somebody can ask me, how's your day? How's this? How's it going? And I'll respond.
And won't ask.
And I
You
won't
won't say, how was your day?
and I look, guys, maybe it's just I'm in my 40s. I just have this
just
mental
avoid-
blockade. It's not that I don't care. Don't get me wrong. It's just
That doesn't kick in for you.
it doesn't. It
kicks
kicks in
late.
late. Like late.
Like,
You know when
"All
it kick? You know when it kicks in?
When it's too late?
When someone says, "So my week was like this." I'm like, yes. Tell me about it. I mean, tell me all about it.
It's funny. They're like, all right, good night, James. Wait, tell me about your day.
Because I'm terrible. So I'm okay with friends who are working on their traits because I'm working on mine.
Vague, but okay. I'm gonna call
I
you
think
out.
it's okay to work on traits. I mean,
No,
we're all a work in progress.
All right, so moving straight along. Enough about me. So let's talk about another funny question then along the lines of friendship. So if you had a theme song for your friendships, what would they be? Give a friendship a theme song. What would you name this friendship right here? Give it a theme song and then think about others.
The first song that came to my mind is the song that Lisa hates.
Oh God, which one?
Happy.
Oh, I hate that fucking song.
Like
I fucking hate that
without
song.
I
a
love
roof,
that song.
because I'm happy.
She cannot stand
Like,
that song.
happiness
Can I tell
is
you a
the
story
truth.
about that song?
Tell us.
We went to go get a new car, and it was like the Audi. Do you remember, honey? Mm-hmm. And the freaking guy puts that song on, and I was like, I'm done. Get me out the car. I'm done. Like between the freaking car salesman that seemed like he was like, hey, yeah, hey, yeah, you need this car. And then putting on that song, I was like, I'm done. Nope, you ruined it. I don't want the fucking car. I was like, I'm done.
Oh my gosh.
So that would be your song. My song would be no new friends, no new friends.
Oh my god.
Listen, but to your point, no new friends is like the defense mechanism.
Yes.
That's up. Not that we don't want new friends, but it's please. Is that we don't want to go through the process of making new friends.
I'm old.
But
It takes a lot of time.
but I'm happy to
I don't know if I got another 15 years in me to make a new friend.
15 years.
you have way more than
That
that.
shit sounds
No,
like a
to
bid.
make a new friend, that's too much work. I want to keep my friends and build on that for the next 15, 20 years. I don't know if I have time to make new ones. Like the way that we are. That's what I mean.
I mean, it does take a lot of time.
It takes a lot of time and dedication, I think, to build those relationships. But those are our two songs. What about?
I don't know. I'm drawing such a blank right now. It's like when I'm at karaoke and I want to sing all the songs and can't
Poison.
think of a single song.
Poison.
Okay.
What about you, James? Do you have a theme song that comes to mind?
Wonderwall.
What you said?
It's a
Wonderwall?
Wonderwall.
Wonderwall.
What about the Golden Girls theme song?
Thank you for being a friend.
Yeah.
It's kind of the first
That
thing that pops
is-
in the mind.
Really?
That
Thank you
is
for being a friend.
travel around the world and back again.
Nah,
Oh my God.
Why not? That's an awesome
God is
song.
True.
Somebody needs to like resurrect that.
Actually, the words of that song
It's
That's what I'm saying.
pretty spot on.
is pretty spot on.
I think so.
We're showing
How about
our age.
Stand By Me?
Stand by
mean,
me too.
that's a good one.
That's it's a trait that I look for. Reliability.
There you go.
Reliability.
Yeah. But Stand By Me is a good one.
That's a good one.
Interesting. Okay.
Did you have one?
I'm going to go with the Golden Girl song. I think it's pretty good.
Okay, you put a lot of thought into
Thank
that
you
one.
for that. I'm gonna go with that.
Listen, I'm a planner. I'm not an on the spot kind of guy. I need you should have gave me these questions well ahead of the
but you
episode.
can give them to us on the fly, huh?
You guys are better at it than I am.
I don't know.
See, it's a
Look at you
trait.
blowing smoke up our ass.
Not into the drink.
You have a smoked cocktail. Don't smoke our asses.
Smoking
How was that
C's.
cocktail, by the way?
It's actually tasty.
You
I know.
re-smoked it, didn't you?
Did you re-smoke it?
Yeah.
I smoked it and then smoked it.
Again?
Is it double smoked?
It's double smoked.
Double smoked Oaxaca.
Oh, that's a good one.
Twice smoked Oaxaca.
Okay.
In case
You
the
like
first
that?
one didn't work. Yeah, no, it's good. It's very good.
All right. What else?
All right. So, what about out of your friends that you have? Pick one of them that you think has like the most unique trait.
Oh, God.
That could be awkward. That could be like level 10 skill set and something. But what's like a unique skill set that one of your friends
I'm
has?
still trying to figure out what kind of unique skill set I have. And you're going to tell me, I got to figure out what they have that I like. Jeez.
Oh, well, I do think one of our friends that we have in common, and I've called her this for years, I've called her the Latin MacGyver. Because she literally can take, and we've witnessed this several times. I mean, she could take nothing and like repair anything. I've never seen any, like on the fly too. Like, remember when we got married? That's the story we always use. So my mother was walking down the aisle, and the heel on her shoe came off, and our mutual
Not the heel, the strap.
of the strap, whatever, but it came apart. And our mutual friend was sitting next to another friend, and she took, what did she take from him?
She said, all I need is bubble gum, a rubber band,
She took like a safety, I don't
and
know.
a safety pin.
And she MacGyvered it. Wait, and so the story is she fixed my mother's shoe. She did such a good job that my mother stayed. She made it down the aisle. She fixed the shoe right there. Okay, my mother made it down to the altar, danced in those shoes, stayed in them the entire night, and the shoes were fine. Like, what? And I've seen her MacGyver.
Especially
that is
with
a
your
unique,
mother's feet.
Janine, do you have your mother's feet?
I mean, they're not as bad, but Janice has some bunions, y'all. One of them is almost another toe. I mean, let's just be honest. It's almost another toe.
Christ, Janine.
So the shoe stayed on. The point
very
is that the
expensive microphone.
shoe stayed on.
The shoe stayed on.
Okay.
Okay. And I think that is a unique quality. And there are times like when we have like little parties or whatever, she'll come over. She's like, what do you need me to do? Anything that I can't get, how you order stuff, whatever it is. And for whatever reason, you're trying to put it together and it's giving you a hard time. I'm like, this is you, dude. Go figure that out. And she'll sit there and figure it out. She's like, all right, done. What? And I'm like, what the hell? But I love that.
Yeah.
I wish I had, like, I kind of envy that. You know what I mean? Because she does it on the fly. I'm like, what is that? And then I think you are one of the funniest people I've ever met.
Me?
The two, you and Lisa together, crack me up all the time. And you may not think humor is a unique quality, but I think the level of funny the two of you are is
Well, thank you.
is nice.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I love it. I like funny people, huh?
I said, I'm okay.
I
You're
think
okay?
Ramonn's all right. All right.
Word.
I mean,
I think I'm all right.
he's okay.
Oh, whatever. Well, what about you guys? What do you say?
Yeah, I know I'm going to pass on that one. Because, yeah, I don't know.
Well, I probably took the one. Right?
You probably did because we have the same friend.
I mean, and her husband is a step, like, he's super handy. Like, what is with that?
Yeah.
They should have one of those reality shows where they just
One of those
fix
home
shit.
shows, like
Yeah.
from like what's that show we were watching yesterday? From Drab to Fab or
yes.
some shit. Yeah,
Yeah, down home fab with
Yeah, that
the
was a
two
good
folks
one.
from Sioux Falls, Idaho.
I love that.
Really good.
Do you remember her from
yeah, but you know what? I don't.
It's like
but
Teen Mom or something like that.
yeah,
right?
so my daughter does because she used to watch that. show.
I used to watch it,
Oh, I didn't watch it.
and I was like, "Look at her now." That made me so happy to see that. Anyway, what? So what do you say, honey?
Me? Huh?
Yeah.
What?
Huh? What?
I don't know. I mean, we have a DJ friend. That's a really good talent. I mean,
Kind of
showed
jack
up-
of a few trades.
Yeah, I mean, well, jack of a few trades. I mean, you've engineered this entire podcast and everything behind the scenes. So
Very creative.
that in itself is extremely impressive. But something that you're well known for locally and with our close friends is you know how to rock a party.
Yep. I mean, I
Yeah.
know you
And
do
you
it
turn
just
the
for
party
fun,
out.
but like you do a good job.
Thank you, Biz.
Yeah.
Biz Marquee reference for those
yes.
listening.
And even we crashed a New Year's Eve party.
Sure did.
And
We were invited.
We kind of crashed.
We crashed.
We were like
the rest of the people we showed up
I think
with.
like 4 people were invited.
Yeah, we showed up with how many?
20.
We and a DJ
And the DJ.
and he turned the party out to the
Yo,
point
my
where
DJ.
the house was shaking.
Yes.
We were like dangerously close to
Falling
collapsing through the floor. So that
It was fun though.
It was a great time.
I have that. You are my friend with that impressive talent.
What about you, James?
With the 10.
Finding a friend with a unique trait. Well, I think, friends, family, but like I kind of go back to Lisa and Ramahn as well with like the ability to chef it up,
Oh, that too.
like,
Right?
which is like,
That is impressive.
There's one
Ramahn,
thing
we're
that there's one
funny
thing to
and
be
we know
like.
how to cook.
There's one thing to be like.
Check. They lucky.
Maybe we need another show.
I mean,
Honestly, because the way I described the other friend, the Latin MacGyver, it's like you two do that with cooking. You
Yeah.
can take very few ingredients and really turn it into something delicious.
I mean,
seriously,
Lisa makes like
on the fly
restaurant grade dinners. Ramahn makes restaurant grade dinners. I often try to convince him to do the short rib, and I have to be specific because he does it 2 ways. I mean, who does that? So I've got to be specific next time. 'Cause I like it both ways, but
That's what she said.
so it's just that's what I appreciate that a lot. And walked
think
in
we're
here.
spoiled. Are we spoiled,
Walked in
James?
here like
Yes.
last
Ramahn,
night.
they're
right?
spoiled.
Walked into the studio last night trying to prepare for today's recording. Ramon's like, there's like, what was that? Red bass, sea bass?
Red
What was
snapper.
Oh, red snapper.
Red snapper just sitting up on the counter,
Yeah,
just
just
like
chilling.
waiting to be
Yeah,
eaten.
regular old Saturday night
whole
meal.
fish. Another casual Saturday night
Did
at
you
the
have
house.
any of it?
I had a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know,
Some roasted potatoes.
Just
right?
there.
Just chilling. Yeah, I know.
just chilling.
It's like, hey, you hungry?
Just another Saturday
It's
night.
just one of those things.
Yeah.
I do what I can when I can.
Well, you
are
both make it
spoiled.
look effortless.
Yeah, you really do.
I just kind of heat stuff up on the grill outside after it's like prepared. That's my contribution. It's like, is it warm? Touch it. Is it soft? Is it hard? Flip it. Is it burnt? Is it not burnt? Serve it.
Well, I mean, you don't give yourself enough credit. I can't really do stuff on the grill. I'm more of a stove kind of person. I would probably burn it on the grill because I
Well,
would
your
walk away
preference is for to make sure it's cooked through and through.
on the grill. Yes,
Yes.
yes. 'Cause
Yes.
I don't want to get sick.
Yeah.
But But you know, you're good,
All
pretty
good.
good. Ramon's great on the grill. He's got me beat on that one because I can't. I'm not a grill girl.
It's not a competition.
I'm just saying, you're good on the grill.
Thank you. I appreciate. I appreciate the acknowledgement.
Bringing
Thank you.
all my grill stuff to you.
We do have way too much grilling stuff that doesn't get used. But all right, so what else? What else do we have here? Here's a funny question. I'm gonna point towards the HR guy in the room. If you had to build a friendship job description,
Oh, boy.
what would be a mandatory qualification?
In a friendship, I feel like I'm on a game show. In a friendship,
The qualified candidate must
description.
possess.
Oh, this is what ChatGPT drew up for us, so we're working through it.
I would send this straight. I'll send this question straight to comp.
Straight to incentive comp.
Yes. So a mandatory what? A mandatory
qualification.
A mandatory qualification of a friend. Isn't that kind of fall into the same?
I was going to say, must
Yeah,
be
it's
responsible. That's what you said.
So yes, must be responsible. I don't know.
Reliable.
Great
It's
communicator.
reliable.
Yes,
It's
exactly.
reliable.
No, I'm serious.
Yes,
Turn it into a
reliable.
bullet point on a JD.
Reliable. Yes.
They have to be reliable and honest. Okay.
Great communicator, able to lift between 30 and 50 pounds. No,
But
Likes long walks on the beach.
proven track record of reliability,
Dependability.
yes.
right? With an example like year over year increase in friendship points. Does anybody get friendship points?
Yeah. Non-judgmental. Now we're just gonna get into it.
Yep. All right. All right.
Start
Well,
asking behavioral questions.
we try.
next.
I mean, I'll submit to
Tell
you.
me about a time when
All right.
We'll send you a 360 survey after the episode
I'm
airs.
gonna take disc. That is a tough question, but I guess I would say a great communicator probably would be up there. Don't you want someone who you understand what they mean? I guess there's
I'd probably
It goes
say
both ways. Like they have to
mutual understanding.
understand like your humor, because some people just don't get it. They're just
Yeah.
like,
emotionally
if
mature.
they don't get my humor, then
yeah, then we
they're
can't
not
be
gonna
friends.
work as a friend.
Yeah,
No.
can't be friends.
Emotionally mature, that is a good one. What about emotionally stable?
that one.
No, you lose me as a friend. I'm very unstable.
So EQ, emotional intelligence, like they should have a decent level of self-awareness.
No, I'd lose a lot of friends. I'd lose a lot of friends with that one. But
You
self-awareness.
think people have a lack of self-awareness?
Absolutely.
Yes.
I mean,
Can we talk about
Yes.
Okay.
Resounding
Well-
yes.
Yes.
so in statistics shown that the majority of the population of the world has a low level of self-awareness. So it's not just a few of the people we know, it's the majority of the world. And even us in this room have levels of self-awareness. We're probably going to, I guess, go into some of the instances of friends who may be or who may lack certain levels of self-awareness, but I guess to kind of lay the groundwork that most people have a low level of self-awareness.
Yeah. I mean, I'm very self-aware that I don't ask questions back. People. And I'm working on it. I'm working on myself.
Are you?
I'm getting better.
Oh yeah, are you?
Every 6 months, I like uptick
In increments.
I'm on a rolling 6 months
Review. Rolling 6 months.
I'll check in again and
check in again in October. Yeah, see how I'm doing.
That was some quick math, girl. Because I was like,
Was that
I
right? I don't know. We didn't do the math.
May,
Is that right?
Did I get it right?
June,
Did I get it right? Should I surprise myself?
August, September,
Look, he's still working on it.
October.
6 months.
Yo, look at me doing all the
Yeah.
math.
Yeah. Yeah, it took me another 6 minutes to figure that out. And I
Listen,
needed
you
my
get
fingers.
one, and that was my one.
I needed
That
my
was it.
fingers. But yeah, we would like some of them to be self-aware, but
I mean, yes. I think that's also kind of a surprise aha getting older was like, I thought with age came more self-awareness, and that is not the case.
it's not the case, no.
You know what I
Okay,
mean?
but let's talk about that. So we said that self-awareness is a good trait, and we know that most people are not fully self-aware.
Uh-huh.
To what point do we try and fill in those gaps for our friends?
I think it's James, you want to answer that?
No.
It's like, next question.
Overruled.
Pass.
For those reasons,
I object.
I'm
Overruled. I sustain myself.
He's
I
like,
d- I
would
don't
like
know the
to
legal
phone
terms.
A friend. Who's more self-aware?
I think part of it is how much you want to get involved in all that when it comes to friends. How much responsibility you want to take. Like, is it because I think the first question to that is how does someone become more self-aware? Because most people, I think, are not aware
right.
of their lack of self-awareness. So how do you help them with that? So then I think from there, it's like, is this my role? Is this something I want to take on? Is helping this person that I care and love to kind of see some things about themselves.
Is it?
I think it depends.
It does depend.
Yes. So I've been in situations over the years where, and I've been that person too, complaining about shit and not doing anything about it. Just going on and on about. And so sometimes in those moments, it totally is that person. They're painting a picture of it's not really me, it's everyone around me. And now you're listening to the same complaint for like the umpteenth time, and you're like, when are we going to move on? I need to move on from this.
Right.
But you want to be a good friend, so you try to think about how you can introduce this idea to this person that you care about, that maybe it's you. Like, how are you showing up right now in all these complaints? Yeah. What is your role in that?
What's the common denominator?
What's the common denominator?
You didn't say if you would tell them or not.
Well, I said it depends on the circumstance, because I personally don't feel that it's my job to do that for everyone. I think you have to tread carefully, because some people will be offended. Even if you say it whatever the right way is, like you in your head, like your tone is good, or you're not being offensive or too direct. You're trying to handle the situation with care. If someone's not ready for that level of truth, it's going to be met with a lot of pushback and defensiveness and a lot of negative response. And it could impact your relationship with them. Right. So that's why I said that. And look, adult me has the words now to say, okay, do you want my opinion? Do you want to know what I think? Because we've talked about this a few times. You've mentioned your struggles with this particular thing. I have some thoughts around it. Would you care to hear?
Adult you or therapist you?
Both. Or how about if you say, I'm going to give you my opinion whether you like it or not? Because I'm tired of hearing the same shit.
I think you need to make it a little bit softer than that.
So, but listen, I think certain people can take that who may have a thicker skin. I don't even think, I think if a thicker skin, if they're like, all right, I can handle it. And if they really get that this is my friend Lisa telling me this, and it's coming from a place of love and care. She's coming at me because she cares. But some people are not in that space. Yeah. And then you're coming at them is you coming at them. And they're going to be like, bitch, what is happening right now?
And my thing is like, and I hear you say coming at them, and sometimes I do come off a little abrasive, even like when I'm meeting new people, but that's just my character. And then once you get to know me, you're like, oh, that's just Lisa.
Yes.
But a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, because I don't even see it.
Right, like you won't see it, but someone else would be like, God damn, what was she saying? Like, why she came off so hard? But it's just like, oh,
that's just Lisa.
She's just playing. Yeah. That's not real. You'll know when she's upset. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
And that's the thing.
Yes.
So I would be like, you want my opinion? I'm going to tell you my opinion.
Because like, if you asked me that, I would say yes, because I know you're going to tell me what I need to hear. Yeah. There's something I'm missing, and you're going to tell me. But I think you have to get to that point, and it has to be someone ready to hear that.
Yes.
And I think sometimes people are not ready to hear it. They kind of know there's another truth, and they're suppressing that. They're pushing it down. They're like, that's not my narrative right now. Right now, it's all these people are causing the problems in my life.
Right.
It's not me. So that's why I'm saying you kind of have to tread carefully, because when it's a close relationship, you don't want to damage it. But at the same time, you're like, I'm tired of hearing this shit. Like, I don't want to hear you complain about the same thing and not do anything about it. So, but yeah, I mean, what's your take on it? What would you do? Do you say something?
So, as someone who probably has lost friends because I was less self-aware, and I think at times, and now that I'm a bit more self-aware, I think there have been times in my life where I've been pretty selfish, and I guess thought more about myself than anyone else. I think that instead of losing some of those close bonds and those friendships that I had, I would have appreciated them coming to me and saying, listen, our friendship is becoming damaged because I feel that you're being a bit selfish, and you haven't thought about anything from my perspective or the things that I'm going through. And in those moments, in those times, I have my own narrative, and it could be for whatever reason why I'm making whatever decision. But really is to justify my selfishness.
But you're saying you would have appreciated them at least making the effort to try and tell you.
I think it would have,
even if you weren't receptive to it.
Even
in that
if
moment.
I wasn't receptive to it, I think it could have. I think that person sharing that bit of information would have been powerful for them. They would have felt like I tried. I got this off my chest. I tried to help them.
I made an effort.
See what was going on, and it might not have made a difference in the moment, but it could have made a difference over time, and it would have helped my growth a lot faster. But the point I'm getting at is it would have probably mended to a level strong enough to continue the friendship instead of us losing the friendship. So in that instance, I can speak from the person who was less self-aware that I think that person should have tried to fill in the gap.
So you think that's part of being a good friend then?
I think that is part of being a good friend.
Is that something that you feel like you try to do in your friendships?
I try. I'm not the perfect friend by any definition of the word friend. I try to be a good friend. I try to be mindful of my friends. I think that if I am witnessing something happening with a person where I can help them become a better person, I'll mention it. And I have done that in the past for a few of my friends when I witnessed a lapse in like their judgment or a lapse in just how they should be behaving. I don't do it every time, and it's limited in the times that I do it, because I also feel that when it comes to situations like that, people can take but so much, and you shouldn't just lean in.
Right.
So sometimes it's just giving them
a little bit
here, a little bit at a time to help. And then in that, like I mentioned, it makes me feel like, you know what, I've done what I could, and hopefully over time they'll become more self-aware about the situation. They'll have a better understanding of what their behavior was like, and change will happen. So I do feel like it's something that we should do as friends. I mean, I feel like we owe it to our true friends to try and make them better.
Yeah, I agree.
So you're saying we should go do a 2-day retreat somewhere and go through a self-awareness course as a friend group?
That would be...
Only if the course is an hour each day that
Well,
we're there.
I say that kind of tongue in cheek. I can't, but not really. Like, because we're at work, we're sometimes fortunate to go through courses like that. And you're like, man, I wish we could do this with our family, with our spouse, or with our kids.
You want to do productive conflict with your friends?
Productive tension.
Well, it does apply.
I mean,
really does.
if we're doing it,
Intelligence.
if we're doing it in Cabo, then
That shit applies.
Why not?
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like fun.
No,
Right, that's why I said only if it's 1 hour each day that we're there.
Lisa's like, I'm self-aware enough to know that
That's
does
not what I
not
want.
sound like fun in Cabo.
Right.
It takes at least 3 hours to get through one
I
workshop.
thought he was going to say 3 people. I'm like, I'm out. Yeah, I got it.
3 hours. 3 hours,
So
12 people.
1.5 each day? Hour and a half each day?
No. 3 hours in one
3
setting.
hours in one session.
That's
Oh,
not
wow.
bad.
That sounds like
I don't
too
like
much.
it.
And there's going to be some aha moments and some...
See, no, I don't.
Will there be?
I choose no.
Look at her
All right.
practicing now.
So,
I'm going to practice my nose right now, and I choose no.
that said, I think that ends things on a positive note for this episode of we talked about some great qualities in friends. We talked about the lack of self-awareness, or therefore the importance of self-awareness in friends. And we also learned that it's okay to say no.
No.
All right, friends. Well, cheers. Thanks for hanging out tonight. Ramahn, thanks for the smoked Oaxaca oldie. And for the Vespers for the ladies, cheers. And we'll
Cheers.
see you on the next
Next
episode
episode.
of the Friends After 40 podcast.